Hey, Fangu.
And welcome to the Woodward Sports live pregame show for the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. We're going to be talking about that today. My name is Stick, along with Tom Mazawey in the building. What's up, Maz?
Hey, Stick, good morning. Happy Sunday to you. I don't hear anything in my headphones, but I'll just keep doing it.
You have no snare?
I got nothing.
All right.
I got nothing. But it's okay. We're good.
Yeah.
You're right next to me. I can hear
Well,
you.
sounds good on YouTube, so we're good. Yeah, don't worry about it. And then we're also joined by the one, the only, Booner. Welcome, Booner.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to be here. Sunday morning football, Lions football. This is the first time I've met Maz, which is awesome. I met Stick a while ago, but
Yep.
I'm excited to be here. It's exciting.
Good to have you in, buddy.
So for people who are unaware who Booner is, Booner does a lot of our bets and whatnot online. He's a talented guy, makes a lot more money than I do, and
does.
it's unfortunate, but I got to start listening to this guy because he crushes it on his bets.
That's awesome, man.
I appreciate
we'll
it.
use you. I got some good bets of my own going today.
I'm excited to hear him. I can't
right.
wait.
Well, let's get on into it. The WoodwardSports.com chat right now. Check in, let us know where you're watching from, and let us know your prediction of the game today. Because, I mean, we could talk about all we want about how important this game is, about what it is, but the conversation since before the bye week is this may be like a win-or-go-home game for your boy Dan Campbell. Like, and I'm talking in the manner if they lose. Like, if they come out, lay another egg, and get absolutely throttled by this Cowboy team, which isn't really that good of a team, the hard questions are going to get even harder next week. The hot seat's going to get even hotter next week, and we're going to play it later. Braylon kind of went off this week about how he's just done. He's thrown his hands up. He's done. You've seen it with Adam from the morning show. He shifted from all on board, this is a good team, love Dan Campbell, 8-9 wins, to this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
And we all kind of woke up last week. I'm a drink the Kool-Aid guy. I've always been a drink the Kool-Aid guy, and I'm okay with that. I'll admit that. But when your number one offense, which was what we were hanging the hat on as fans for the Lions, that, hey, our defense sucks, but at least we got an offense.
Right.
But our defense sucks, and the offense wasn't good either. They put up 0 points last time out, Maz.
Well, look who they played against. They played against Bill Belichick, and unfortunately, their old coach, Matt Patricia, who is the right-hand man of the Mad Professor himself. So when it comes down to it, when we got Matt Patricia here as our head coach, he's not a head coach, but he's probably a hell of a coordinator. And this is what I did find out. You know how they didn't name a coordinator with the Patriots? They just basically said, oh, he's just my offensive guy. He's going to call some plays here and there. He's going to work with my defense, work with my offense. The reason he does that is because the Lions had a clause in Patricia's contract that said, if you become a coordinator, then we're not paying you anymore. So what does Bill Belichick do?
Loopholes the system?
A little loophole in the system. It lets his man double dip. So the Lions are still paying Matt Patricia as he is guiding the Patriots offense, which is getting better by the week, and they got themselves a little quarterback controversy. I think Belichick is just basically using Bailey Zappi just to get Mac Jones back on the same page. From what I understand is Mac Jones got a little bit of a big head, and they had to knock it down. So last week,
Bill Belichick's such a dick.
He's a genius.
He's a genius, but he's a dick.
Oh, yeah. Look at Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Same crap that he pulls. He pulls guys out in the freaking fourth quarter if he has to.
And it's so crazy what you can get away with when you're a winner, right?
Correct.
Correct. When you're a Matt Patricia and you try that stuff,
Don't work.
Players don't respect it. But
Correct.
when you're Bill Belichick, you can do whatever the hell you want.
And here's the kicker with that Patriots game. I'm a horse player, so when you see a bad race, a horse runs all these good races, and all of a sudden he has a bad race. You throw that race out, Booner. You throw that race out, and you say, okay, this is the game. And you said it, Stick. They come out, the Lions defense, play a decent game today against Dak Prescott. First game back. Wasn't great the first two games he played. Went out with that bad, what did he have, a bad thumb or bad wrist or whatever. So he's playing his first game of the year this year for Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush did a pretty nice job in return. So I say throw that Patriot game out. That was Bill Belichick outwitting Dan Campbell and the Lions. What I'm afraid of is that he has shown the blueprint on how to stop this Lions offense. And If you go back a few years, the Lions, when they stopped the Patriots the one time that they came into Ford Field, it showed the other teams in the NFL, this is how you stop the Patriots. So this is how the NFL works. When they see a team dominate another team and they finally stop a team that's been scoring in the 30s and they shut them out, it's on paper, it's on video, it's on tape. That's going to be the tough part. I believe the Lions come back today and play their best game of the year. They have to. I predict this game will be like the Rams game last year when they emptied the playbook and left nothing for chance and gave it their best try, lost to the better team. I believe that's what I want to see this day out of the Lions. Even if they don't win, I don't care. Play hard. I really
Such
don't.
a Lions mentality,
I don't care.
Even if they don't win, I just want both teams to play hard.
I don't care.
Participation trophies are not what we're here for, Maz.
I know, but I'm going to get a draft pick this year. They're not going to win this year, Stick. Just play hard. Show me that you're not giving up on Dan Campbell, and win a few more games before the year's up. That's all I want. Booner, what do you got?
I'm in the same boat as I think everyone else is. If you do, I think we do lose today, which sucks, but you just want to see some sort of life out of the team today, because then you have to play the Dolphins, then you have to play the Packers, and you're looking at a 6-game losing streak there when you're expected, like, we could have been 4-2, 3-2, like whatever. We could have been in a better position than now. After coming off a 29-0 loss, you want to be able to just have some sort of life. I'm with Maz. I think they give us some sort of life coming off a bye. You know what they did with the Rams last year. I think it's a very, very similar situation. Dak Prescott coming off an injury, no one knows what he's going to be like. He struggled in certain games last year, and they were talking about Cooper Rush being the starter when he comes back, which is crazy.
That ain't happening.
But now it's a little bit of pressure on Dak, you could say. But I think the Lions are going to show up a little bit. I like them. I don't want to cut ahead here, but I do like them to cover today, just because I think they're going to put up a fight. They're going to throw everything they have.
Spread dropped to 6.5, by the way.
Yep.
So little action on the Lions today.
Well, a couple things when you were talking, Maz, that started thinking about, because you were talking about how it's now on film, how you beat the Lions, and they did it with Judon on defense.
Yeah.
You think they're going to use Micah Parsons in the exact same way for Dallas that the Patriots used Judon to smoke both both of our tackles?
He's a unicorn. He's going to play everywhere. He's going to be over Penei Sewell a lot today. So here's the battle. This was my battle from day one when we were down at Greektown.
Are you begrudgingly kind of rooting for Parsons to whoop Sewell's ass today?
Yeah, a little bit.
I know you are, because you want to be right?
I am right anyway. I don't care.
You're not right. You're not right. No, Sewell.
I'm totally right. But he's never going to be on this team, so we won't talk about him. I'm just saying he was the pick. That's all.
What if Sewell dominates him today?
Okay, then there's next week.
Okay, so you're playing with house money essentially, right?
Yeah.
You don't care.
Micah Parsons is one of the best players in the NFL. Penei Sewell is a good offensive lineman.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You take the Hall of Famer offensive lineman. I'll take the Hall of Famer defensive linebacker or defensive end, whatever you want to call him.
But that's my fear, right? Because he could do everything Judon was doing, and probably more. And if Bill Belichick was able to draw up that type of defense, and like you said, now it's on film, it's out there, what do you think the Cowboys have been doing all week? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to line you up over left tackle. We're going to line you up over right tackle.
What do you think Diggs is doing in the secondary? He's licking his chops.
I'm not sold on Diggs. Like, he had that great start to the beginning of last season with all those interceptions, but outside of that, he lets up a lot of big plays because he takes those risks to get those interceptions, and he hasn't gotten a lot of interceptions lately. So to me, he's more of a risk-reward guy, and the risk has been over a year now with this dude. He had a nice first half of the season last year, but I'm not concerned with Diggs.
Well, Dallas runs the ball. They were starting to run the ball really well. Ezekiel Elliott looks like he's rounding into form, and Tony Pollard is a guy that they're not using enough, if you ask me. So
Memphis, he was
you got those guys against our running backs. And again, DeAndre Swift, it's looking like he's trending that he is not going to play. It's not official yet, but it's looking like he is not going to play.
Every report I'm seeing is, he's questionable, but not likely.
When he went out a few weeks ago, I said that's going to be a long-term injury. The guy can't stay on the field. And you remember Hard Knocks and Deuce Staley getting on him. Got to get tougher. The guy's got a body of Hercules, but he just can't stay on the field. It sucks because he's your best player on offense, bar none.
Yeah.
bar none. And Jamal Williams is. You want to get down to the goal line, you give the ball to Jamal Williams. He's not a guy that's going to get you a lot of yards.
Yes, he is.
Throughout the day.
I think Jamal Williams as a full-time running back is serviceable. He can fill that role, and he has for us. There could be no Jamal Williams slander here.
I'm not slandering him. I'm just saying he's not even close to being DeAndre Swift. That's all. He doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield. It's awkward. You ever see him try to catch a ball out of the backfield?
Yeah, I thought he's done well with Swift being out.
And another guy that's down is DJ Chark. You can't depend on him either. It looks like that injury he had last year where he had surgery on it and the Jags let him go. It looks like it's reoccurred a few weeks ago against Minnesota, and he hasn't been the same, and now he's on IR, so he's out the next 4 weeks. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, who starting to get healthy, not 100%. He says I'm 90. I guess 90 is like 100% in pro football. So we got to rely on him. And today, what's today, Booner? What do we celebrate today?
Today's tight ends day. T.J. Hockenson touchdown.
T.J. Hockenson. It is officially tight ends day. The fourth Sunday. Is it the fourth Sunday?
Fourth Sunday of every October.
Fourth Sunday of every October is considered tight ends day. So what he did against Seattle, we need to see that against Dallas today.
Well, that's what happens when you target the guy. To me, that's been the usage of Hockenson has been the issue, not T.J. Hockenson in general. When you got a guy like Amon-Ra, when you're throwing the ball around to different people, it takes away from his usage. But you saw when they target him 12 times, dude puts up damn near 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. We're going to talk more about that, plus the challenges facing the Detroit Lions today against the Cowboys, right here on the Detroit Lions Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss. And you know, it's been 11 years since we beat the damn Cowboys.
I know.
11 years since the Lions beat the Cowboys. We'll talk about that coming up next right here on WoodwardSports.com.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man!
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Welcome back to the Woodward Lions pregame show right here on Woodward Sports and WoodwardSports.com. And that Dan Campbell contest is hilarious. We got like 2 more weeks to get your entries in, so if you got a good Dan Campbell impersonation, please put it up on Twitter and Instagram. Use hashtag Woodward Front Row, because we're sending 3 people and a guest to sit front row. 6 tickets all together, and some of the entries are hilarious. We got this girl that like put on this muscle suit, and she's doing her thing, shaking out the pants.
She's my leader.
She's your leader?
She's my
leader. I like the guy that's like, who am I? Why are we here, man? Where do babies come from? That cracked me up when I saw
That's some really
that.
good ones. So you guys can really go out of your way, do it. How about the girl that she did the up downs too?
Yeah,
you got to give her credit for doing the up downs.
And what's kind of weird about this is I saw people responding to us on social media saying, "Oh, you know, you're trying to trash Dan Campbell." We thought of this idea at the beginning of the season, like when everybody was full on board Dan Campbell. This isn't try to rip Dan Campbell in your impersonating him. No, it was to show love.
That's flattery.
Yeah, because he's a character. But now because he goes for it on every 4th down and it's kind of salty here in Detroit, some of these videos may be a little more harsh than we envisioned when we first thought about this contest.
It's okay.
Yeah.
3 winners, 2 tickets apiece, and the best seats in the house. When I say front row, you're like in the front row of the end zone.
Yeah, it's like when they score a touchdown, they'll run and jump into you. You're at the very end of the end zone. Spencer went with his dad last year for the Vikings game when they won at the last second. They sit in front row right there. So,
and if the ball goes over the net with an extra point or a field goal, you might have a chance to get it.
There you go.
Never know.
They don't let you keep them in the NFL, do they?
Sometimes they do. I think you could beg your way to keep one.
You would have to strip that thing out of my dead hands before, because I've never even caught a foul ball at a baseball game.
Neither have I, and look how old I am.
Why is that? And I know like some of my friends catch like 12 a season.
You're not kidding. I was at the All-Star game back in, 2005? 2005 or 4 All-Star game in Detroit. Bobby Abreu hit like 1 million home runs that day. I'm sitting in the media seats, which were up in left field. Perfect seat for home runs. I was sitting next to Scott Gator Anderson, good friend of mine. We had one seat in the middle of us. We had a buffer seat.
Yep.
He caught 2 home run balls. 2.
And then the minute you switch with them, he gets into the other seat too.
Or I'll get up and go get a soda or something, and the ball will come to me. And I had a soda knocked out of my hand, the closest I ever came. Had a soda knocked out of my hand at Shea Stadium by Dale Berra of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hit a foul ball, knocked the soda out of my hands, and I still didn't get the ball.
I think there's a video that went viral earlier this year. I think it might have been in Las Vegas or L.A., where a guy just wouldn't give up the ball that he got from a field goal. And they literally were, like, dragging him out of the – like, the security came over, and he was like – he put it under his shirt. That's what I imagine. When you say you have to drag me out, I imagine you doing that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Come get it. Come get it.
Give the guy the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
crying out loud.
You're the NFL. You make $10 billion a year. You can't give up a damn
lose
ball.
1 or 2 balls a game, maybe. If a player throws the ball in the stands, it's yours as well.
That's awesome. Whatever. Well, let's talk about what Ben Johnson had to say about playing the Cowboys.
He had this to say because this is a tough defense that he's facing, especially number 11.
11 might be the best defensive player in the NFL right now. And it's not just him, though. All across the front, I think 90's playing at a really high level. He might not have the sack total right now or over the last few years, but he's getting pressure on the quarterback. He's showing up in the run game. And then really the rest of the guys, you can tell that they're really well coached. They play with great effort. They take a lot of pride in getting after the quarterback. That's our biggest challenge. I think they lead the league in sacks right now. So pass protection is going to be critical for us this week to have success. But it starts up front with them. And it really doesn't matter what situation they're put in. They're a really solid bunch.
There's your future head coach, Ben Johnson, talking about that Dallas defense. And sorry, Dan. I do love Dan Campbell, and I want you to do well. But I ain't letting that guy out of the building. I can tell you that for sure if I'm the Lions. I'm not letting him out of the building. I want my own Kevin O'Connell going forward eventually. I mean, look what Kevin O'Connell's doing with the Vikings. But what Ben Johnson is saying about this Cowboy defense is true, man. They got a lot of playmakers on there. And, you can stop one guy. There's other guys that are going to get in there. So the Lions offensive line today has to show that they are indeed a top 5, top 10 offensive line. Flat out. Got to play hard today.
Yeah, and that was what the Lions assumed was a strength going into the season.
Well, we all did. We all put them on a pedestal.
And what's crazy is a lot of this doubt's because of the last game, right? On the offensive end. Before that game, everybody's walking around. We got the number 1 offense. Jared Goff is setting air yard records. Like, he's the best quarterback, and everybody around here is celebrating. Then you have one bad game out of 4, 5, and now everybody's kind of like, this offense is horrible.
Because we're afraid it's out there, and people are going to know how to stop this offense now. What the Patriots did 2 weeks ago was they took the manhood away from the Lions. They really did.
But do you think that's overreacting to one game?
That's why I say I'm praying that it's a game that you can throw out and say it was a blip on the radar, and they come back today strong and they put up 3 touchdowns minimum against Dallas. That's what I want out of the Lions today.
Booner, who are you most worried about on the defensive end for Dallas, besides Micah Parsons?
I was going to say Micah Parsons. Maybe Diggs would be my only thing, and I think just based off of, like you said, last year he was just hawking interceptions. The thing that I look at, like Sick, you were just saying, like last week or 2 weeks ago, was kind of an overreaction because we did go up against week one of the best defenses, and to me, in the NFL with the Eagles. Like you could argue that they might have a better defense than Dallas, and like they're 1-2 right now, in my opinion, at least. So that's what I'm interested to see. Can they do what they did week one when they scored 30-plus points versus the Eagles? Can they do that versus this Dallas defense? Diggs would be my biggest worry. He's probably going to be all over Amon-Ra, you would think, throughout the whole game. So that's what I'm interested to see how they go at that, because that leaves T.J. Hawkinson.
Yep.
Could he have a big game?
He has to.
Yep.
Right? When Swift's out, he has to. And if they're going to double Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has to. That's
agree.
it. But Ben Johnson has to target his ass.
Yep.
If he doesn't do that, you can't blame it on T.J. Hawkinson.
Well, Josh Reynolds is an injured warrior too. He's not going to be playing
The
at full
serpent of
strength.
death?
He's not going to be 100% either. I guess no one at this point is 100% anymore. But you're coming off your bye, you would hope that Josh Reynolds is going to be okay and ready to go today, because he re-injured himself in that Minnesota game, played through it, had a week off last week, and he was questionable coming into today's game. He was on and off at practice this week. They need help, man. That's why I think, and we'll talk about it later, it's the Carolina Panthers fire sale. And they got a guy named DJ Moore over there. And DJ Moore wants out. He wants out of prison. All right? He saw his friend get out of there. CMC is free, running in California.
And he's going to play today,
He's going to play today.
Starting today. Got traded Thursday, playing on Sunday. I love that.
Kyle Shanahan made the joke to him. He's like, this was our plan all along, Christian. We're going to build our offensive line. They go get Trent Williams. They get him. We're going to build our offensive line. We're going to get our offense straight, and then we're going to trade for you. That's what Kyle Shanahan told Christian McCaffrey. It's been a dream of his to get a guy like that over there. What do you think Christian McCaffrey does for the 49ers as a sidebar to Lions here?
I think he has a big day, Christian McCaffrey. I think it was a situation, a lot of people are like, oh, maybe he's going to get limited snaps. Maybe, he's not going to be fully involved. Like you said, Matt, I think he's going to, they were ready to get this guy.
Yeah.
They were expecting to get a guy like Christian McCaffrey. I think he's a full go today. I think they're going to have a big game versus the Chiefs. This is a perfect situation for them.
What a game that is, and we'll break it down a little bit later. But getting back to the Lions and the Cowboys here. This is in Dallas. Dallas coming in off that loss to Philadelphia on Monday night. Short week at least. They played Sunday night, so it wasn't a short week. But you know what? This is a big game for Dallas, too. If they want to stay in the NFC East race, they got to win today. When are the Giants going to start faltering? There's a lot of questions up to go.
Well, and look at Mike McCarthy. Last year on the hot seat. This year he's kind of off the hot seat. But if you lose to the Lions, today, though, you're back on that hot seat again. Yeah. So he's kind of coaching for his life because he hasn't really secured himself as the Cowboys head coach either.
He'll never be locked in there as long as Sean Payton is available. Sean Payton is out there. He will have a job next season on the sideline. Who will get Sean Payton? The favorite's always been the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll see. Mike McCarthy, as long as he keeps on winning and shuts Jerry Jones up, you're good to go. But the minute you start losing, Jerry's going to be on you. Simple.
Well, I know one man you're excited to see play today. Josh Paschal.
Who?
I've never seen him. Second-round draft pick. Our second defensive lineman off the board. Josh Paschal. I'm excited to see this dude play today.
He's excited too. Check it out.
I think they're just going to throw me out there and see what I can do. So whatever they throw at me, I'll be a man. Jump out of my skin too. Excited to go to Dallas and have my first NFL game. It feels surreal to say, but I'm excited.
He hasn't played since last November. This is his first game back. They're going to put him in. I'm not sure how they're going to use him. But he's back. So is Jerry Jacobs. Jerry Jacobs off the pup as well. And that's great news. Hey, 2 fresh bodies for that defense. And God knows they need it.
Yeah.
They got this guy in the second round. People forget. This is a second-round pick, and you know the history of the Lions' second-rounders. They have not gone well. Brad Holmes, even last year, Levi Onwuzurike, he's not going to play. Got surgery on his back as a last resort.
Someone made a meme of all of our second-round picks, in heaven.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
They were reaching out to Josh Paschal, like, come on, Josh.
Josh, do not.
Oh, don't go. Don't go to the light, Josh. Don't go.
Don't reach up there, Josh. Listen, they took him to bookend him with Aiden Hutchinson. Because let's face it, Aiden Hutchinson the shine is off, okay? Aiden Hutchinson is playing for that number one ranking, that number one position that they took him in. Trayvon Walker went to the Jags. They passed on Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe they passed on him for a reason. But Brad Holmes took that kid and said he's well above where we thought he was going to be. That was in the beginning of the season. We looked at him against Washington. He looked terrific. Then he got hurt. Charlie Horse hurt the thigh. Hasn't been the same since. And the guy that Brad Holmes drafted to go along with him is Josh Paschal out of Kentucky. I hope the kid shows, because he looks damn good in college.
Yeah,
I hope he's the guy that maybe brings up Aiden Hutchinson, gives him a little bit of a jump.
And that's exactly what I'm hoping for, too, because now you got two guys. You got bookends now, hopefully, that you can't double and triple team Aiden Hutchinson at all time. Were you big on Paschal? I didn't know anything about him before they drafted him. Like, if you go back on woodwardsports.com and all of our videos, the only guy was our draft expert when he was up here, Scott Bischoff, and he was hype about him. Then I did some research, and I got hype about him.
Yep.
But now I haven't been able to see him play, but I'm ready today.
Yeah, I'm same here. When I didn't know anything about him once they drafted him, and it's the same thing as everyone else. You look at some film, and it gets you excited, but then he gets injured, and now it was just a question mark for so long. I mean, it's weeks on end. You're sitting there questioning, is he going to be that guy to help Aiden Hutchinson? I think today it's like full force. Like, let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
Same with Aiden. Like, we would need to see you perform today with him back, with other guys on the line back. Like, this is the week to do it versus the Dallas Cowboys team on the road. I'm excited to see it. I'm actually really, really excited. Maybe it'll give a little spark to this defense. Who knows?
Yeah, the thing that I always go back to on Paschal is he played for Kentucky, an underrated team in the SEC, and he had to go up against Georgia. He had to go up against Alabama, LSU, every year. And he held his own.
Yeah.
The one time we saw Hutchinson go up against an SEC line, it did not work out so well.
This guy made off any of the defense that day.
Yeah, but this guy made a living doing it, right?
Yes, he did.
And so I love that comparing apples to apples thing when those two were going against the same competitors. And we'll see today if Paschal comes out and balls out, maybe that puts more pressure on Hutchinson to up his game too. And hopefully it does alleviate some pressure that they can't just focus on Hutchinson. Let's see, we're about 1 minute away from the injury report dropping in the NFL, and we are going to hit that coming up next right here on the WoodwardSports.com Lions Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss Insurance. We'll be right back.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Welcome back to the WoodwardSports.com Lions Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss Insurance. And the inactive list just dropped. Lions beat reporter Madeline Miller with the heat coming with it. And as suspected, DeAndre Swift, I already took him out of my fantasy lineup, so I don't got to worry about that right now. Yep. He is out as an inactive.
He is. And joining him is Michael Brockers, who has basically been inactive anyway, but on the field. So he is not playing. Charles Harris down again. So that's on the defensive line.
Yep.
That sucks. Will Harris, cornerback. Melifuano's out. Matt Nelson, the tackle, still out, man. Then we heard DeAndre Swift and Demetrius Taylor, another defensive lineman.
So we're down defensive linemen. It's a good thing Paschal's playing.
Yeah, that's why you got Paschal and you got Jerry Jacobs out playing in the corner. So there you go. There's your inactive for the Lions today. And It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
How much of an impact without DeAndre Swift does that have on the Lions? And Booner, I'm going to come to you to this first. As a bettor for the Lions, you know, when the line's 6.5 as it is right now, when DeAndre Swift is officially announced out, does that move the line for you?
It may move the line, you would think, because he's been kind of questionable all week, so I think they kind of were expecting it anyways. But kind of like Maz was saying earlier in the show, I mean, that's just a threat out of the backfield for Jared Goff as well, which Jamal Williams isn't as big. So now you're shuffling all of that around, especially against this defense. Like, you want to get as many looks as you can on that offense to defense there. So versus the Dallas defense, I still would take, in my opinion, that doesn't change me with the line there. I still take plus 6.5. Even if you want to just pay for a little bit of a price and go plus 7 just to get that touchdown. I was kind of basing my bet off DeAndre Swift being out anyways. Yeah. So I kind of like that. I do like at that point then a Jamal Williams touchdown because he's going to get those carries in the red zone. I mean, he usually does with Swift inside, goal line play. Yeah. But I think it kind of even puts it there even more. If you can get into a sports book now before they switch it, which they probably already did. But
they're quick with it.
Yeah. I this morning I was looking at it. I think I actually might have locked him or Ermanni in. So I do like that a Jamal Williams touchdown today. That I think that's almost a lock if they get in the red zone.
Cowboys inactives are in as well. Not as many that you're going to care about. Jabril Cox, the linebacker. Will Greer, third quarterback. Nashawn Wright, corner. Marquise Bell, safety. Devin Harper, linebacker. Neville Gilmore, defensive tackle. So no big names out there for the Cowboys. It looks like they're pretty healthy. The main one that's not on here is Dak Prescott. Yeah. Dak Prescott goes today, first game. He's going to be raring to go. What do you like on Dak Prescott today, Boone? What do you want to bet on him?
To be completely honest, that's I try and stay away from situations like that, like coming back off an injury. They don't know where to set his lines at because he's been injured for so long. You just don't know kind of those situations. It's the same thing, at least for me, for a guy like Christian McCaffrey too. Like, he's just got traded. You don't know where he's going to be at. Right. Same thing with Dak coming off an injury. You don't know what's going to happen. People probably are going to be leaning towards his overs just because of our defense, though. I would guess. I'm staying away though.
Yeah. Well, the most Lions thing that can happen, and this happens to the Lions, guy just off IR, sets some NFL record. He threw for 8 touchdowns in the first half.
Don't say that.
That's what always happens to the Lions. I feel like every Lions game I've ever watched in my entire life, there's some dumbass stat where it's like, it's his first touchdown since October of 47, or like just some weird thing that we have the first rookie to ever have a punt return and a running touchdown. Like, there's just so many weird things that always seem to happen to the Lions, and it always happens when guys are coming up, or guys you've never heard of. P.J. Walker last year, the XFL the first XFL quarterback to get a win in the NFL. It's just like, damn,
he's playing today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, great.
For Carolina.
Yeah, great.
Which doesn't help us. By the way, the all-time series, they don't play a ton, but the all-time series, Dallas leads it, of course, because the Lions don't lead anything. 17-12 overall. They've won 4 of their last 5. The last Lions win, like Stick told you, was 2011. Just to take you back to that game, Lions won it 34-30. Calvin Johnson, 2 touchdowns from Matthew Stafford.
That was when he jumped over triple coverage.
That's right.
That was the triple coverage game.
And the Lions D had two pick sixes against Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Cowboys did not have a good year that year. They went 8-8, didn't make the playoffs. Lions went in at 10-6. They lost to the Saints 45-28 that year, and the Giants wound up winning Super Bowl, 46.
I can't wait till we can get to the point when we're talking about the Lions to say 8-8 wasn't a good year.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't have a good year. They were 8-8.
Hey, 9-7 wasn't a good year.
Oh, yeah, no. 9-7's not good enough for this team.
Jim Caldwell, 9-7.
Miss you, Jim Caldwell.
The all-time, the best percentage, winning percentage of any Lion head coach is Jim Caldwell. Yeah. Well, we're not going to bring that up.
No,
not at all.
It hurts my heart way too bad to think about Jim Caldwell. I wonder if they could bring him in to consult the team or something, though.
You know what he can consult him do? Put me as head coach. That's his consultant.
That's what he comes in. I got an idea. Why don't you put back as head coach when we were getting a winning record the whole time?
Listen, I would have kept Jim Caldwell, except on game day. I didn't like him on game day.
What is that?
I didn't like him on the I didn't like him on the sidelines.
I liked him as a coach, just not when he was coaching.
Exactly. Not when he was doing. Put him up in the booth or something on game day. Let someone else run the sideline, because I don't think he ran a good sideline personally. I mean, he always fiddled with his little phone thing.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Des Bryant's running on the field in that playoff game. He's not pointing to him, telling the referee. Never mind the interference he just took away. How about Des Bryant running on the field? I mean, there were so many penalties on that play that they stole that game from the Lions. I remember doing a post-game show with Herman Moore that day, and I was screaming, fix. People write me, man, what the hell are you talking about? No game looked worse than that Dallas Cowboy Lion playoff game. No game, to me, looked more fishy. Now, did you remember that game, Booner?
I do remember. I agree with you there. I mean, it was not just one call. There was multiple things that were going on in that game that you could really question, like, what's going on. That's probably the game that they, when you're training to be a ref, they probably just take that game and say, do everything that they're not doing.
Correct.
That's like that main game that they throw on for film.
Not only that, and Ndamukong Suh, his last game as a Lion. Remember, he goes to the press conference and he wound up crying.
That was a bad call, but I always go back. There was 5 minutes left in the game.
Care.
We shanked a punt after that, gave them field position. Like, the Lions did not do their job to close out that game. They had every opportunity, and if you have opportunity, the only person you can blame is yourself. It was a bad call. Get over it.
Calvin Johnson, we had Rob Sims on a couple weeks ago. Remember Rob?
Yeah.
He don't get that game out of his memory.
That
game don't get out of your memory.
I get it, but you still had 5 minutes. If that was like the very last play, then yes. But
still 60
5
minutes.
whole minutes. But I'll tell you this, if we would have had a punter like Jack Fox, he probably wouldn't have shanked that punt.
Jack Fox is rich.
Jack Fox is the highest paid punter in the NFL and the least used punter in the NFL, which is astounding to me. Hey, Jack Fox, sit over there. We're going for it on every single fourth down, and here's $7 million for you to do nothing. I think it's because Belichick paid him a compliment.
It's a good gig.
Oh, and Jack Fox is one of the coolest human beings you'll ever meet. Last year we did that kick for crypto contest.
You probably could call him right now on the field.
You probably could. We had to punt a ball into the back of the truck, and you'd win $25,000 in crypto. And Jack Fox, from 35 yards away, punts a ball right into the back of our truck. Like, it was absolutely amazing. Fun guy, great guy. Glad he got the bag, because I've been saying this since last year. He is the best player on the Lions. He has the best completion percentage. Whenever he throws it on fourth down, we get that. He's clearly the best punter. He can kick off. We just don't use him enough, man.
Maybe he can quarterback on fourth down. Like, snap the ball to him and fake the damn thing. I'm expecting everything today against Dallas. I'm expecting a fake punt, a fake field goal. But I think Dallas will probably be looking for it.
It's no longer a surprise from the Lions, right?
We've
become that joke trick team that has to, like, beat you because we can't line up and punch you in the mouth with our grit. That's what the Lions have become, and that's what kind of sucks. Is against the Rams last. Now we're 10 games removed from that, and they still continue to throw the whole kitchen sink, go for it on fourth down, take unnecessary risk. Listen, and it hasn't paid off.
It's okay to go on fourth down.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
But not 4th and 9 when you have a field goal kicker. That you got to trust your kicker. Michael Badgley has been elevated to the active squad. So he is your kicker today. Sam Ficken, practice squad. They signed him a couple of weeks ago. He is not going to kick today. So you got Michael Badgley, and Dan Campbell turned down a 50-yard field goal against the Patriots when it was only a 6-0 game at that point. And he said, well, we were kicking into the open end of the stadium. I mean, it was a perfect fall day. If you have a kicker on your team, you better damn well believe anything inside 55 yards, you kick the damn field goal, especially on 4th and 9. 4th and 1, 2 or 3, 4 even. Go ahead, go for it.
No, I'm over it. No, I'm over it. Don't go for it anymore on fourth down. I don't care. Unless the game is on the line or you absolutely need those points, don't go for it. Football's a lot like blackjack. If you play by the house rules, it increases your odds to win. We're not playing by the house rules anymore.
If you're looking at the analytics.
No, it's not. He's just doubling down. The analytics, no, not even close.
Analytics tells you to go for it on that position.
Analytics led us to 0-6 on fourth down last game. How's that for analytics?
Well, like I said, Bill Belichick was ready for them.
I'm kind of sick on it. It's where
you're a gambler. I know you are.
Yeah, and if you look around to the league, like just different, people just out there, they turn on the Lions because they just think it's fun to watch them because we're doing trick plays. We're going for it on fourth down. But the thing is they know we're going to lose because we're doing it. Like they're not turning the game on to watch the Lions win because they feel like, the Lions are going to lose, but they just want to see us onside kick. Like if you go on Twitter, that's all you see is jokes about it, which is the worst. Like I hate that. Right. I hate turning on Twitter, going to all these gambling people.
We become a joke.
Yeah, and they're just like laughing at us gambling wise, all these different things. And it's just like we go for it 6 times on 4th down. If you take some field goals, you're still in if you take that field goal versus the Patriots and Jared Goff doesn't fumble the ball, he doesn't score the touchdown, you're sitting at a 21-20, and you kick the field goals 10 game. It's a 2-possession game in the 4th quarter instead of having to do all of that.
Apply pressure.
Yeah.
That is what sports are about, right? Apply pressure.
Why
And
do you
when
have
you
4
are
down?
and when you are letting your opponent off the hook constantly, giving them better field position, putting a rookie quarterback in his first drive ever against us starting at the 40-yard line, it's about applying pressure. It's about them having that little voice in the back of their head that's like, oh man, one big play, this game can switch. Oh man, we throw an interception here, this game's going to turn on its head. Not, oh man, we're just going to wait for them to screw up. Sometimes the best thing to do is just let your opponent mess up.
So you like the
do
CFL.
the right thing.
So you're a CFL fan. You just like 3 downs. Is that you?
No,
Just like 3 downs?
I'm an intelligent football fan. I'm a punt when I need to punt.
Yeah,
I'm
when
a
you
kick a
need
field
to.
goal when I need to kick a field goal.
But-
I'm not chasing points I don't need. That's what pisses me off.
This is a new NFL. Now you can go back and you always call me the old man. You're thinking like an old man.
No, I'm thinking like a winning head coach.
There's situations.
No.
If it's 4th and 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on where you are on the field, depending on what your team needs at that point, and you trust your offense.
Your offense. We are on pace to go for it on 4th down 61 times this year. That is an NFL record. Okay. So that is not old school thinking. That is not the new NFL. They're trying to set the damn record for being stupid.
Why are you yelling?
Because this frustrates the hell out of me. It really does. And go back and watch every Lions post game from last year. And you'll just see me progressively getting more pissed off. Like, why are they going for it on 4th down? We didn't need that 4th down. And it was like, okay, well, this team's not talented enough. We're trying to get more possessions. Dan Campbell's doing what he can with the talent he has. Then this year, it continues. He did.
Did you ever read about that high school
evolution.
coach a couple years ago that never punted the ball?
Oh, that's great in high school. The wing T offense still works in high school.
He's in college now. He's
Great.
moved up to college.
Great.
It's not a dumb thing
Yes, it
to
is.
do.
It's the dumbest thing you can do. It's a turnover.
Yeah, look, fourth and 1 from your own 15? Yeah, that's dumb. 4th and 1 from the Dallas 40? No. Go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and go for it.
Yeah.
I trust my offensive line that I spent 3 first-round picks on to get me a yard or 2.
Yeah,
Thank
and you
you.
can in the proper scenarios.
Yes,
That's when
I'm
you
not
use
telling
it.
you to go for
Not
it every time.
No, you're saying what Dan Campbell's doing is the new NFL. It's
Yeah.
not.
It
It's
is.
not. Then why is he doing it the most? And why are we losing the most?
Because they're chasing because they're not as good as the other teams.
Yeah, I
When
gave
you're
him
not
that.
as-
I gave him that excuse last
When
year. I
you're
ain't
not
giving it
as
to him
good
this
as
year.
the other teams, you take chances. That's what you do. You empty your playbook. I'm not saying go for it on 4th and 9. I wanted him to kick a field goal. Against Minnesota, he had 3 choices. Kick the field goal, punt, or go for it.
And he chose the wrong thing.
It didn't matter. No matter what of the 3 he did, if he was wrong and didn't make it, you guys would have been all over him.
No, I wouldn't have. I was on the show watching it, doing the post game, and I was saying
a 46-yard field goal.
I got
which it
receipts,
was.
man. I got receipts. Go watch what I was saying.
46-yard field goal. Your freaking pro should make that.
Yes, 100%.
Make it. Make
100%.
the kick. Punt, kick the ball.
But he didn't do
and
that.
Make Dallas
But he
go
didn't do
80,
that.
Make Minnesota go 80 yards to beat you.
But he didn't
and
do
they
that.
wouldn't have beat him.
He didn't do that, though.
And had they won that Minnesota game,
If Grandma had balls, she'd be Grandpa. Like,
Yes.
we can play ifs all we want, but it didn't happen. 0-6 on 4th down. And you know who else is kind of fed up with it? Our own Braylon Edwards.
Yeah.
WoodwardSports.com. He does a live show. He does a live show with this man right here, Tom Mazawey, and Ryan Ermanni from 2 to 4 every day. Braylon had some good takes this week, and I think we got to share them with everybody watching right now. So when we come back, you're going to hear from Braylon and what he had to say this week about the Detroit Lions right here on the WoodwardSports.com Lions Pregame Show. Thanks for watching, guys.
Wednesday, all 3 shows will be live from Planet Fitness in Madison Heights on 18 and Ryan. Come check it out. You can get Lions tickets, Michigan tickets, also maybe a signed jersey by Darren McCarty, or even the man himself, Braylon Edwards, #1 Michigan jersey. Come out, have fun. Member Appreciation Week. We're going to have a great time. Be there or be square.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions.
featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
I don't think anybody is, but when you really look at it, it's you're 1 or 2 plays away here, and all of a sudden you're sitting here with 3 wins, you know. So, but the reality is we only have 1, so that's where we're at.
That's right. They only have 1. They only have 1 win, and they're probably 2 or 3 plays in each game away from doing that. And he's the reason for those 2 or 3 plays not going the right way as well. Well, we talk about it, the momentum.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about we're 1 or 2 plays away, because this is the Detroit Lions, coached by Dan Campbell. You're not 1 or 2 plays away, because the guy in Dan Campbell is making in-game decisions that are affecting the season. Just like I talk about Michigan can win any type of game, the Lions can lose any type of game. You play a hard-fought game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the beginning of the season. You get an ugly win against the Washington Commanders in terms of how they played defensively in the second half, but you get a win. Congratulations. Then you come back, you lose game 3. What was game 3? Who was game 3? It was the giveaway to Minnesota?
Seattle.
No, it was Minnesota. You give the Minnesota game away, which you were winning once again in the fourth quarter.
Minnesota.
Then you blow that due to some in-game decisions as well as some defensive miscues in there. And then you look at the Geno Jackson game. Geno Jackson comes in here and destroys you guys. So you get beat up by a team that we didn't think that was that good. Now they may be a little bit better than we're seeing, because they've called on to get a couple wins.
They're in first place
since that. Yeah, but that division isn't a good one right now. But yes, they are in first place, so maybe they're a little bit better. But they're still not 48 points on the Detroit Lions, better than the Detroit Lions. Then you go to New England. Oh, this is going to be the game. You got Bailey Zappi. You got a quarterback. This is when you get back on track, and you get out-coached Ben Johnson against Bill Belichick, and you get blown up. You get beat down. You've lost every type of game possible. You got blown out. You've come close, and you've given it away twice, and you've almost tried to give it away. So nothing about the Detroit Lions do I believe in. So I'm tired of talking about Dan Campbell, him turning his hat back around and doing all this. You got to go out there and you got to help your team win. You have to help your team win.
So I did this last week with Michigan State and Wisconsin, and I think when we were doing our fill-in-the-blank segment, I said why I was choosing Michigan State over Wisconsin last week. I mean, Wisconsin is a better team than Michigan State. I really believe that. But I think Michigan State had to win the game, and I think they were going to win the game because I think they have a little pride. And I guess I'm going to say that with the Detroit Lions this week, too. I think, and again, what does it matter if I'm wrong? It doesn't really friggin' matter.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to hopefully wake up on the right side of the bed with a smile on my face. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong or not. I don't give a shit. Oh, sorry, I said that. But, like, I think they're going to win because I do believe they have some pride. And they had a couple of weeks to reevaluate what they're doing. They got a couple of weeks to get some guys healthy. And they have to save their season. And this is a season-defining game on the road at Dallas. If you lose, you're done. You're out. Don't even care about talking about you anymore. I mean, we'll be forced to talk about the Lions because that's what we do here on a sports talk show is we talk about the Lions. We'll be forced to, but I will do so without any sort of emotional attachment whatsoever. It'll just be like something we do.
You're allowed to make your own opinion and pick who you want to. I love that. The fact that you gave me that analogy on Michigan State beating Wisconsin is nowhere clear in the same direction as the Lions played against the Cowboys, because Wisconsin sucks. Their quarterback Greg Mertz sucks. Their running backs aren't like they used to be with Jonathan Taylor and the running backs of the past. Their offensive line, which has been traditionally good under Paul Chryst, which is why he was fired. Their defense, which usually has good defensive line, good defensive play, they are awful this year. Michigan State and Wisconsin were two evenly matched awful teams. And I only picked Wisconsin because I picked Michigan State because of the pride thing, but also because they were at home. If Wisconsin was playing Michigan State in Madison, I would have chosen Wisconsin. It's not the same because the Cowboys don't suck. The Cowboys are 4-2. With a backup quarterback, they were 4-0 until they did lose one. They got arguably the best defensive player on the team. They got one of the best defensive backs on the team. They got one of their wide receivers back who they just paid. They got another wide receiver who's waiting for Dak Prescott to come back so he can get a much different comparison. But the Lions, even if they show have pride, Dan Campbell still got to come through for them at the end of that game.
I think one of the things, though, in the NFL, too, and look, the best team doesn't always win the game in the NFL. Just go back to last week. I think the 49ers are better than the Falcons. Atlanta beat them. I think the Packers are probably better than the Jets. The Jets beat them. I think the Dolphins
every week you
are
could say
probably
this.
better than the Vikings. The Vikings beat them. I think the Ravens are a better team than the Giants. The Giants beat them. I think the Bucs are better than the Steelers. The Steelers beat them. I mean, I think the Chiefs potentially at home anyway, probably better team than the Bills. Maybe, I guess you can flip a coin on that, but the Bills beat them. I mean, you can say that every week. The best team in the NFL doesn't always win.
The best coach team on that day does, and that's the problem with the Detroit Lions. All the examples you gave, the best coach in that particular game was on the opposite sideline.
Wow, the best coach in that particular game. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The best coach in that game. Yeah. Like what the Giants did in getting that win against Baltimore. Wink Martindale, we talked about it before the game. Wink Martindale knew Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been struggling in the fourth quarter. They played to that. The Giants have the best fourth quarter team in the NFL. That matched off that way. You look at the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, on the outside it says the Falcons beat the 49ers. It looks that way. But then you look at the 49ers in detail. They struggled early on in the season. They've been average with Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Falcons have been playing good defense under their new head coach. All right, they've been in some tight games and they've almost won all their games. It's all about matchups and it's about coaching. And right now, the best coach in that game, it sucks to say, will be Bill McCartney.
You got anything to add on that?
Mike McCarthy.
I just think that I'm with you.
Mike McCarthy.
They're coming back after a bye week, and I just think that they will be ready to play one of their best games of the year. Whether it's good enough to beat Dallas,
I just want to know, like, you guys have been wrong about the Lions 4 weeks in a row, and I've been right. When did you just maybe one of you jump on my side just once? Just once to see what it feels like to be right.
It's no fun.
No, because you actually guys believe it, though. The difference is you believe it. If you were just saying
again,
I
what's wrong with believing?
We're sports fans.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I understand that.
But that's the clear difference between, I think, us and you as a former player. You come at this thing as a player. We come at this thing as a fan. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
There's
well, then give me two. In that case, give me two different answers. Then give me the fan answer, and then give me the logical answer.
I think we kind of already covered that.
Yeah,
they think they'll play their best game, and they'll probably lose.
I think you've been right about the Lions every step of the way. You've been right about the Lions every step of the way.
I'm just laughing.
But I think that
it's more so fun for me.
Yeah. The problem is
that's good.
Is as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Like we live and die with our teams. Like, that's why we're in this business. Like, if we didn't give a shit about these teams, we probably would be counting money next door at Morgan Stanley. At least that's what I'd be doing.
We could use the fourth floor bathroom.
Or I'd go on the fourth floor and go do that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, these teams matter to us.
Okay,
so
well, Michigan matters to me. And last year I said they were going to lose Ohio State, and I was wrong.
Right.
Sometimes you based off of what I saw, I would pick Ohio State and lost. I was wrong.
But we're wrong a lot. if
your picks aren't necessarily your picks are good. No, you're only wrong about the Lions.
But again, I'm wrong a lot. But it's just fun. Like, this is like sitting at a bar to me. Yeah. Like, you argue with your buddies about stuff. Like, ultimately, you want to be right, but you don't really care if you're right or not because it doesn't matter. My life ain't affected. I mean,
it does affect us when they lose, when we think when we want them to win.
Of course,
it does affect us.
But what I'm saying is, we're sitting here arguing with each other. Whether what I say here is either right or it's wrong, my wife's still going to be up my ass when I get home.
Me too.
And I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to have to go to friggin' work.
Yeah.
And this is like therapy for me. to be here shooting the breeze with you guys talking sports.
Sitting at the
It's
bar.
ain't that serious.
No, I'm not serious
what I mean?
as well, but I'm saying as
mean-
much as the Lions, they send you to therapy.
Right. Right. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, can I be honest
Like
with you?
arguing about sports. It's fun.
Sometimes when the Lions win and I come in on a Monday, I'm not as excited to talk about it. I'm just not. Because it's like watching a car crash.
You're so used to being miserable.
I'm so used to getting my teeth kicked in that I just want to come in on a Monday and say, oh, they could have done this, they could have done this. Why the hell did they do this? I want my Sunday to be ruined.
And honestly, we know how this is going to end up.
Yeah.
But we don't want to believe it. We love football season too much. I don't want football season. I don't want football season to be over in week 6.
But you guys should be like, you know what you should do? Maybe just switch the gears for a second and be like my guy in Major League. Maybe you just start saying, you know what, the hell with the Lions, they're gonna lose, and maybe it might be reverse psychology. Maybe they start winning.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to manifest putting it out in the atmosphere.
You just gotta turn your back on it.
The
Right?
Lions win.
I was an 0-16 season ticket holder. Okay, I went to the last game against the Saints. I was there rooting hard for them to win. Actually, I was kind of rooting for them to lose and just getting the record
16,
books.
you were there cheering?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I was
that
pissed.
kind of answers some things.
I was pissed that the Browns tied the 0-16. I wanted it off of myself because I guess that's just what I am. All right, I'm a battered guy.
Yeah.
I'm a battered fan. I guess this is what I just expect.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not a Philly fan, because Philly's got 2 undefeated teams, and they got the Flyers are undefeated, the Eagles are undefeated.
Listen, before this year,
the Sixers have a chance. The Phillies are in the world, the NLCS.
Look at the football teams I rooted for coming into this year. I'm a Jets, Giants, and Lions fan.
How do you think I felt when
can
I was
you
the
get,
Lions
Can you
and,
get a bigger loser than that?
When Rich Rod was at Michigan, how do you think I feel? Now I know what Michigan State fans are going through. Can you imagine being a Michigan State fan?
No
That
thanks.
sucks.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man!
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
I love Sean Murphy's laugh at the end. I don't care if I got 1 butt cheek, but make sure you get in on that Dan Campbell front row contest. Get your impersonations in. Post them up on Twitter and Instagram with hashtag Woodward Front Row. Have some fun with it too. We just want to be entertained, and Dan Campbell is definitely a character you can do some spoofs.
Do some up downs and do some man, and you'll be fine.
Man,
that's all.
Welcome
move your
back.
hat around, move your hair, go like this. You're good.
You're good. Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Detroit Lions Pregame Show on woodwardsports.com. Brought to you by our friends at Swiss Insurance. Make sure you go check out Swiss Insurance. I'm actually switching over all of my stuff at the beginning of the year to them. Make life easier. All in one. It's all in one place. So I don't got to figure out what the hell bill I got to pay. Just package it all.
Attaboy.
I'm the worst at that stuff. Like random bills will sit out forever, and it'll be like, why can't I just pay one of them? Swiss got you. So go to Swiss Insurance. I cannot believe what I just heard, but I also very much believe what I just heard. Ed Order from ESPN. Booner, since you brought this up, this could be the most Lions thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
What did Dak Prescott, according to Ed Werder, say about the Lions?
Yeah, so Dak came out, told him that he personally chose the Detroit Lions team to come back from injury from, which is absolutely, like Stick said, it's the most Lions thing ever. And I just sat here and told them, too, I hope that Dak Prescott gets sacked 5 or 6. I hope this defensive line, I hope Aiden has two sacks, and I hope he throws 2 picks
I'll
somehow.
take it one step further. I hope his ankle gets snapped again.
Oh,
come on. You want to disrespect the entire franchise like that? Like, these guys suck. I circled them on the calendar because they suck so bad. I'm like, that is so insulting.
Listen,
it is.
And if that is not up in the locker room for the Detroit Lions right now, and Dan Campbell is not playing that video on repeat, like, he thinks y'all are punks. He thinks y'all can't get it done. He chose you because you're little bitches, and that's what he thinks he's going to have his way with you today. That is the most. Could you imagine that as a competitor, as a man? Like, okay, anybody you could go against. Who do you want to come back? The Lions. They're the worst ever. They allow 34 points a game. They suck.
Well, he's undefeated against them. We heard Ed Werder. He hasn't thrown an interception against the Lions, and he's had. I think he's had 8 touchdowns against them in his 4 games against them. So he's undefeated, hasn't thrown a pick, and has 8 touchdowns. So it just happened to be the timetable for him.
No.
Do you want to come back again?
If it's just a timetable, you don't go out of your way and say it.
All right, he didn't push his way into the lineup last week against Philly. Do you blame him? Do you blame him for not wanting to start at Philadelphia?
I mean, that just says a lot about Dak Prescott's competitive nature, if you ask me. If he ain't the guy to take on the biggest challenge when it's right in front of him, he ain't going to win you a damn thing in the long run.
He might not.
If he's playing scared money don't make money, Dak.
It's been happening for years. I mean, they haven't done anything in the playoffs with him. Everyone's question, is Dak that guy to lead them to a playoff run? I mean, this is a situation that's showing the same exact thing. He doesn't want to come back versus the Eagles, but he wants to choose the Lions. I hope we put 40 points up on them, and he has to pull out a miracle to try and beat us.
You know what word comes to mind? Coward. Coward.
Well, the last time they won, 2011 in Dallas, they picked off Tony Romo twice for touchdowns. So you want the same game, right?
Yeah.
You want the same game?
This is just like a boxer ducking the real competition to take some sparring match. Like, that's exactly what he did. Like, I don't want to fight Mike Tyson. I want to fight this guy, Tony from off the street, because I know I'm going to be like, this is a coward move by Dak Prescott. And before he made those comments, I didn't care. I didn't think twice about it. Dak's healthy. He's playing. But to say I could have played last week against a tougher team, but I was scared, so I want to go up against...
He said his goal was to pick this game. Ed Werder probably took his words and made it into this little ESPN vignette that he just put up. Sure, Dak Prescott, his goal was to come back in what week is this? Week 7 or week 8?
Week 7.
It's week 7. So his goal, I'm going to be back week 7 at home against the Lions. If he said that at the beginning, you wouldn't have a problem with that. But you're just sore. You're taking his words and making it into, like, on purpose he wants to go against the cowardly Lions.
That's literally what he said. That's what I'm going to pull a Neil Rule. This is what I've been told. Ed Werder said he purposely chose the Lions to come back.
Yes, week 7 against the Lions at Dallas, at home. Sure, I would pick that game as well. I'm healing. My throwing hand was hurt. My throwing hand was busted.
Hurt. I couldn't play against the number 1 team in the NFC East when playoff implications are on the line and my division title is.
It's not playoffs yet.
You know those division games mean something.
They'll give Dallas they'll give Philly all they want when they're home. That was not a game for him to come back on. It was not. This is the right time.
Man.
I don't know what to tell you. Don't be so insulted.
If I'm insulted, I hope some people in that locker room are. And I hope they're taking it personal, because that is personal. That's a direct shot at you. It's a direct shot. And you know what? I'm sure they're self-aware and know that they're the worst defense in the league. But the fact that everybody else is clowning them and calling them out now, like, hey, man, I could have come back from injury, but, dude, I got the Lions next week. Why would I do that to myself? That's horrible.
I think he's a smart guy. Sorry, Boone.
And for everybody crying in the chat, I don't really want him to get injured. Just relax, you babies.
You're going to be canceled.
Oh, my God. I offended some people in their mom's basement. What do you think about that, Booner?
No, I mean, like I said, I just think I hope he gets sacked. I know we don't have a ton of sacks this year. I mean, I saw someone in the chat. We had the least amount of sacks in the NFL. I hope today it's 4 or 5, and I hope he throws a pick. After those comments, I mean, as a Lions fan, it is disrespectful. I mean, as much as you could say, Maz, it might be true. It's smart,
really? I mean,
but it's still disrespectful as a fan. A diehard Lions fan, you hate to see that because they have the Bears next week. Why couldn't he do that to the Bears? And he picked us. Like it's
We're
disrespectful.
the warm-up game for the Bears, apparently.
Yeah.
Look, the Bears defense is pretty good, by the way.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good. Matt Eberflus is a defensive coach, and he's got them playing good. He has no idea how to run a show on offense. That's his problem in Chicago. Poor Justin Fields is just in the wrong spot.
Because, that's the Bears type. Like if a girl that always dates a toxic guy and she just has the type. That's the Bears type with head coaches. Like, we're going to bring in a guy that's awesome on defense, but cannot figure out how to run an offensive scheme to save his life.
Matt Nagy was supposed to be this offensive quarterback whisperer, and he's just destroyed Mitch Trubisky. But it might be Mitch's fault. He might just stink. But still, he never really had a chance either, except against the Lions. He had a winning record against the Lions. So it is what it is, man.
Definitely.
Don't be too insulted, all right? It's week 7 in the NFL. This is his chance to come back and do some damage.
Listen, it's just the lack of respect this team is getting from around the NFL now.
But look at all the respect they got earlier in the year.
Oh,
Dan
great.
Orlovsky, who else? Brian Baldwin.
Yeah, Mina Kimes was all over us. Yeah,
all these guys that were like, this is a team that's on the rise. This Ben Johnson schemes are great. But you know what? When you lose as much as they're losing and then you lay an egg against New England, all of a sudden you're off. The shine's off, man. So we'll see. They got to play their best game today and make a statement and get back into that national talk.
Well, you brought up a comment earlier about the Carolina Panthers and their fire sale, how they got rid of Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be playing today for the 49ers. And you think that Lions should maybe try to poach someone from them, right?
I like DJ Moore, the wide receiver there. He's lost there. He's got no quarterback. Baker Mayfield's out for a while. Baker never really got his feet going in him. I want to ask you, Booner, because I know I'm the only guy here in the house that likes Baker Mayfield. He's shown nothing since he's left. He's like on fire, this poor guy. His career is like hanging in the balance.
Yep.
What's your personal take on Baker Mayfield?
I think his best thing in his career is he has a lot of heart, which is, I mean, in the NFL, I mean, you can win off that, right? You see guys that aren't that great and win, and a team built around them. I think he's in a really bad position right now in Carolina.
It's a bad team.
And it sucks to see because when he was in Cleveland, they literally, we know what Cleveland was, 6-7 years ago. They were terrible. They bring him in. The whole organization turns around. They go to the playoffs. They win a playoff game, and then they just ship him off, which I hate that for a guy like him that's literally put everything into it. But he's in a bad position. I think if he's in a good position, he can be a decent quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback or a good quarterback, but he'll be an average quarterback to help a team, win games.
Well, Steve Wilkes is the interim head coach there in Carolina, and Carolina has been getting calls about DJ Moore, and they're holding on to him right now because they still have him under a pretty good contract. But Brian Burns, their fantastic linebacker, they supposedly turned down 2 first-round picks to get him. I'm not sure who offered, but it was supposedly multiple teams have offered first-round picks to get Burns, and they want to hold on to him. That was a guy that I thought the Lions should go after right at the beginning. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for him, because then they have their way of doing things. And it's, let's face it, I'm barking up the wrong tree. Brad Holmes and his team, they're not trading for anybody. They're just not.
Well, I think if they are, it's not the wide receiver position. I mean,
it can't hurt them.
They're still waiting on Jamison Williams to come through. You still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are pretty 2 good building blocks. I don't know where DJ Moore can fit into that offense if you have those 3, if you're still trying to work Jamison. And if Jamison Williams turns out to be what they think he is.
Well, you got Josh Reynolds there, too. So those are your 3.
So the wide receiver position, I'm not too concerned about.
But if I put those 3 on paper and said, this is your whole thing, that's your whole wide receiver core. Don't you want one more guy? Don't you want one more guy?
Yeah, but I don't want a guy that's competing for the wide receiver 1 position.
It's not going to be
They need a complementary piece.
Williams
will be the wide receiver.
We hope.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but that's why you draft him and trade up to get him in the first round. You don't do that, then go spend more capital to get another wide receiver one. It just doesn't work out that way. But I'd love to see Jameson Williams on the field at some point.
Yeah.
I think part of the consensus was he was going to be back out there after the bye week.
Well, I told you from the get-go that they're going to take their time with him. There's no need to rush him. If he gets a few games in at the end of the year, that's all you need out of him. They're not going anywhere. Take care of the kid. Make sure he's completely healed up. And Braylon tells me, always yells at me about this ACL injury, which he's had. And we got Jameson Williams got lucky. He only injured his ACL, and it was in January in the national championship game. And he said it takes about 7-8 months, maybe up to 10 months to really heal. So we're in our 10th month right now. I would just chill, man. You don't need him. You don't need him right now.
Yeah, I think in a different scenario, if we're 3-2, 4-2,
yeah,
then it's like, all right, we can make maybe a little push to get to 8-9 wins. Maybe you do so. But I think now where we're sitting at right now, I think it's a good opportunity to kind of just sit him, make sure he's healthy, so when you do get a full him and there's no risk of any other injury. I do think, too, back to the draft or the trade talks, if you are going to trade assets and kind of go after someone, I think it has to be on the defensive end of the ball.
Has to be.
I don't think getting another receiver will help. I think you have to, get another linebacker, Brian Burns. Go after someone that's going to build that, a younger guy around the league that's going to build up that defense for a long-term price there.
Braylon just texted me. He said he just saw the Ed Werder comments, and he's like, Cowboys are going to win by 30 today.
You know what I want on Jameson Williams right now? I want him to suit up and say, you know what, I've been waiting to play the Dallas Cowboys. That's the only reason I'm coming back. I didn't want to play against anybody else. Just wanted to come back. I've been targeting them.
They got plenty of time, man.
I know. I really want to see what he becomes.
Of course.
It's a very exciting piece to this puzzle.
We want to know. We want our first-round picks. We want 2 of them next year. The Rams pick is starting to get a little bit better. Let's face it. If the Rams even make the playoffs, they might be a one and done. So at worst, you're gonna pick first, second, or third, and then maybe 20th, which is not bad. Not bad.
Our draft capital's through the roof, and then compound that with the $70 million in cap space that the Lions will have next year. They can make some moves in a hurry next year.
But you better hit on your draft picks. They have not hit on their draft picks.
What?
What draft picks have they hit on?
There's a guy named Amon-Ra St. Brown that's pretty damn good taken in the 4th round. There's a guy named Penei Sewell, which could potentially be a gold jacket Hall of Fame.
Yeah, anyone could have picked him.
Anyone could have picked him?
Yeah.
But the 6 teams didn't.
Okay.
What else? What do you mean? What more do you need to see out of Brad Holmes? That's my question to you.
I need to see
out of everybody to talk about that's not doing their job for the Detroit Lions, you're choosing Brad Holmes?
He's not perfect.
I'm not saying
close to being perfect.
Six round pick last year.
Yeah, he got a good 6th round pick. And I love Rodrigo. I do. I think he's going to be a terrific linebacker. He's going to be in a lot of games. He's undersized. That's why he went so late. But you miss on your second picks. I haven't really seen much out of the 3rd and 4th round picks besides Amon-Ra St. Brown.
How do you know they missed on Pascal?
We don't know yet.
Okay, so don't say they missed.
I say just hit on your picks. That's all I say.
No, you just said they missed on their 2nd round picks.
Last year they missed on their 2nd round pick, and all the guys that they've missed in the past. You can't blame those.
You can't hold that to Brad Holmes.
Today is great. I'm going to see Josh Pascal and see what he can do. And I know it's only his first game since November. I'm not putting too much into it. I'm just saying hit on your picks. That's all. You got to draft smart. That's all I'm saying. I don't like drafting injured players. I've said it from day one, and I'll say it till I'm not here anymore. Don't draft injured players. You're not the smartest guy in the room. Don't act that way.
Yeah, it's tough because in today's day and age, like Braylon even said with his ACL injury, the process he had to go through is nothing that they go through today, and it's such a quicker turnaround. So I'll leave that to the doctors. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be, and I'm not going to pretend to be able to predict when players are injured and how severe it is. But I'm just saying, man, of all the people that you're putting pressure on, Brad Holmes should be the one guy that's like, all right, I'm going to give him a couple more years. He's hit on a couple late-round picks. This guy kind of knows what he's doing. And on top of that, if we're talking GM status, it's not only about hitting on these picks. He cleared up a cap nightmare for us, and we have a ton of cap space moving forward. So there's a lot of moving pieces to that puzzle. And you talk about I guess probably the most even trade in NFL history, I would say, the Rams and the Lions. The Rams got a Super Bowl, but we're seeing the real Matthew Stafford this year. He played out of his mind last year.
He's not the real Matthew Stafford. This year he's playing a little hurt, and his offensive line isn't as good. And he has no running game. I know you could say what you want. It's not his fault.
It never was here in Detroit either.
Right, exactly. I agree
that's
with
the
you.
thing.
I agree with you.
That's all Stafford apologists. It was never his fault. All he needed was this, and this, which if every quarterback had this, and this, they would be good quarterbacks. But either way, I think it's the best trade, at least I've seen, even-wise, in NFL history for the Lions.
We'll find out. Rams got their Super Bowl.
They got their Super Bowl. We got a ton of draft capital. I think both sides are happy, and that rarely happens.
I'm happy for Stafford because he didn't have to go through another coaching move here. And look where it would have been anyway.
I like Stafford. There's nothing against Stafford. He was great when we started this network, too. He popped by the studio. Kelly was a big supporter of it. So this isn't Stafford slander, but, numbers is numbers. He's kind of repeating what he did here in Detroit this year in L.A. Last year was kind of an anomaly, but it got him a Super Bowl, and that's awesome. Happy for him.
Another team that's shopping some players is the Denver Broncos. Ooh. By the way, who's not playing today? It's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is out officially with a hamstring injury. They're playing the Jets today. Jets are going back-to-back at Green Bay and at Denver, two of the toughest places to win a game. We're going to go around the NFL later.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's do that next. We got to take a break. We got to take a break right now. Let's get to that.
There's a couple players on Denver that might be up for grabs as well.
Okay, well, we'll get to that next right here on WoodwardSports.com. Lions pregame show around the NFL coming up next.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
It's a great day to get some Syntron in your life. Okay. There it is. Syntron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Syntron World, baby. Syntron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CyntronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Hey, welcome back. Sitting here looking at the phone. Kareem, what's up? What's going on? Lions pregame show right here on WoodwardSports.com. Yeah, we were both looking at our betting lines, putting in bets right now before the game. Maz, what are you doing? What bet are you doing?
I'm betting the Raiders and the Packers. I'm going to tell you in a second.
All right.
I'll tell you in a second. Well, we're going to go around the NFC North. But before the break, I told you about Denver. The word on the street is the Denver Broncos are shopping Bradley Chubb, one of their best defensive players. They have a great defense. And Jerry Jeudy, your guy, wide receiver, former Alabama Crimson Tide.
I do like Jeudy.
Jeudy.
Big boom
Teams
Jeudy.
are calling Denver because they think Denver is basically done. You like either of those players, and again, I'll throw the Lions in there. We know they're not going to do it, but would you like to see either of those players in Honolulu blue and silver?
Bradley Chubb? I mean, we just went over. I don't think any more wide receivers are really going to help this team or push them any further than they already are on the offensive end. But Bradley Chubb, I'll take that. But just like we were talking about how the Rams gave up a lot of assets and they got their Super Bowl, imagine being the Denver Broncos, giving up what you gave for Russell Wilson, and now you're in a fire sale situation 5-6 games into the first season with this guy. That is a horrible management of assets. The Broncos just almost forfeited their next 5 years because now they're just scrambling, trying to get draft picks back. And if they're trading away their best players, all you got is old-ass Russell Wilson. That's why
What
I'm saying the
happened to him?
Rams-Lions trade worked out for everybody. This trade only worked out for the Seahawks.
No doubt about it. The Seahawks definitely, right now, well, I think, period. They fleeced Denver. I mean, let's face it. Pete Carroll put Russell Wilson in the best position that he could be in when he was with the Seahawks. Almost won 2 Super Bowls. Should have won 2 Super Bowls. Still don't understand how they lost to that Patriot team. But what's your take on the Denver Broncos there, Boone?
I think everyone in the NFL is in the same spot. The Broncos, outside of their defense, has been incredible. And I've said it 100 times. Every team that they play, every single week, that defense brings that team down to their level to where they're in every single game, even how bad Russell Wilson's playing. You know, Jerry Jeudy, to be honest, I know he has Russell Wilson, but he hasn't, given me that, he hasn't surprised me at all with the way he's been playing. And Cortland Sutton's kind of taken over that number 1 spot, which I thought Jerry Jeudy would have done.
Sure.
So I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be a good guy if he does get thrown around
right
somewhere.
stuff.
I think he'll be a good guy on a Rams or a Packers team to where he can kind of be that guy or be backup to kind of Cooper Kupp like the Odell last year.
Speaking of the Rams, they were all in on, well, they weren't all in because they didn't get the deal done, but they were in on Christian McCaffrey. They did try to get him over there. I mean, let's face it, they got Akers over there to try to. What did Akers do to be on the crap list?
I don't know. He
for
comes
Sean
back
McVay?
from a major injury, helps them in the playoffs,
They won't
runs his
play him.
ass off, and now he doesn't play.
He's healthy, and they won't play him.
But he is averaging 3 yards a carry, which not
But
great.
they said, we're going to trade him. They said it. They've already said, we're trading Akers. Who knows what the hell's going on? Let's go to the NFC North. Vikings at 5-1. Man, they hit the break right at the time, huh? 5-1. They're the quietest 5-1 in the NFL. Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell, they're like peanut butter and jelly, man. They're getting along great.
Yeah, do you like the concept of taking a break when you're 5-1 and on a roll, or would you rather take it like the Lions did and you're 1-5?
Well,
what would you prefer?
You got no choice.
I know.
I'd rather.
But what would you prefer?
The Lions definitely needed a break to get healthy, to get back on the pace, especially the way they laid an egg the week prior to that. What a way to go. They went to the break in the worst possible way.
Right.
But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. You got to play your schedule.
Yeah, Vikings, solid squad. I thought we could win our division. I thought the Lions could win their division this year, and no.
How about you, Boone? Do you like the Vikes to win the
I think they win the North. Yeah, I think it is a tough spot for them to get the bye right now, just because they just started to get on that uphill battle to where they were becoming, and then they are a really good football team now. And the Lions, I mean, it was a perfect spot for them last week to get the bye week. That's why you want a bye week, because you have injuries.
Yeah.
You need rest. You're playing bad. But yeah, I think the Vikings win the North. I don't think the Packers are kind of maybe 2 games out. They'll be at the end of the season, but I think the Vikings take it.
Well, the Packers need a win badly. After last week, they laid an egg at home against the Jets.
Yep.
They are on the road at Washington, another team that's in flux, let's just say. Antonio Gibson kind of riding the bench now. Brian Robinson, the rookie, who got shot twice earlier this year, literally shot twice, is now back in the lineup. Great story for Washington. Great story for that kid. Thank God he's okay. But the Packers at Washington, Green Bay laying 4.5. I'm going to go to you, Stick. First of all, who do you like in this game? And give me what you got on the Packers. Because Ryan Ermanni, from day one, said they're a 7-win team.
I mean, they're 3-3 right now, right?
Yep.
They're going to win today. They're going to be 4-3. The Packers are a much better team than a 7-win team. When you got Aaron Rodgers, your 7 is your floor, I got to say. And even if he's operating with a put-together wide receiver staff, and you got the rookie Romeo Doubs doing his thing, Christian Watson showing up, the Packers are the Packers. I've learned that over my entire life. Don't count them out. Don't ever think they're going to be bad, even when they look bad early in the season. I mean, what was that, 2-3 years ago? Aaron Rodgers hit them with the relax when they were, 1-4? And then they bounced back and win the division.
But he had a guy, a pretty good wide receiver at that point.
Yeah, he had Devontae Adams. But you don't know what Christian Watson is. You don't know what Dobbs is going to turn into. They still have Aaron Jones running the ball. They got Dillon running the ball. And their defense is their defense. They're never flashy, but they're always good. So I never count the Packers.
They came
out.
into this year as a top 3 defense. They're not playing like it.
Yeah.
Booner, what do you like about in that game, and what do you think about the Packers going forward?
I like the Packers in this game. I think they beat the Commanders. Carson Wentz is out for a few weeks, so they have Taylor Heineke.
Which is an upgrade, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, last year he
rhythm.
wasn't that bad. When they were getting into it, I think he wasn't that bad. But his first game back, kind of in action, I still think the Packers are going to be too much for them. I do like the Packers moving forward. Aaron Rodgers is always he's that guy to where he's going to get the best out of his receivers, which he hasn't thus far. Eventually, I think he will, though. I think he's that quarterback that will do that. And he did come out and say that he thinks that the front office needs to go get a wide receiver for him.
Why did he take all the money then?
So
I mean, he took every freaking penny that they could.
Yeah.
He screwed himself.
Yeah,
he did.
I think they could still get a guy like Jerry Jeudy who'll come in at some point
would be scary.
really help them out. And Aaron Rodgers will elevate him to a different level. So
Well, we'll see. I have 2 best bets today.
All right.
The Packers are one of them. I think the Packers will lay out Washington today, and I think they will be better going forward. I believe in this team still, even though the Jets really made them look bad last week. So I like the Packers laying the points today.
Yeah.
I'd say, go ahead, guys. Get on right now. Get on FanDuel, whatever you want to play. Bet the Packers, and I got a great parlay for you as well. We have time to go around. I'll pick them right now.
Yeah, no, I'm just laughing at the chat. The WoodwardSports.com chat. A dude named Borat says, as a Lions fan, I could never utter the words, I like the Packers. Maz is not saying he likes the Packers. He likes them in this matchup. It's a betting term.
It is.
Maz does not like the Packers. Do you, Maz?
I do. I do.
Well, then I got nothing for you. Borat, you are right.
Listen, I like the Packers for one reason. And you're going to hate me even more. I like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I mean, when I see them on television back in the day, last year and going forward the last 8 years, I can't wait to sit down and watch the Packers play football. I just love Aaron Rodgers the way I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I know he's only won 1 Super Bowl. Is he an ass? Yeah, he probably is. Probably is. Did he take too much money this year and hold his team ransom and wind up,
yeah, but are you saying that about Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. And he got more money.
Yeah, but he's a young man.
So, production. I don't care how old
He didn't hold out.
Tom Brady's old as hell and win me Super Bowl. I don't care.
He didn't hold out and hold the team ransom. They gave him that because they knew he is worth probably way more than what they gave him. I mean, let's face it. Aaron Rodgers held his team hostage, and it cost him his best receiver. That's going to come down the line. That's going to nip him.
Well, let's do some lightning rounds on the rest of these games real quick. Speed through them so we can get to break and get back and talking about the Lions predictions that we got coming up next. Go ahead, Maz.
Here's our pick'em segment. We're going to go start with the Booner first because he is our gambling expert. Colts at the Titans. Battle for first place here. Titans given 2.5 in Tennessee.
Yeah, I like the Titans 2.5. I think they win this game. They played like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, actually, in Indy.
They always play hard against each other.
Yep, that divisional matchup. And I think the Colts, I don't think they have I think the Titans are just getting into their form right now. They beat them by about a touchdown last game a couple weeks ago. Now they have them at home. Derrick Henry, I just don't think they have enough right now. Their defense, the Colts' defense, is a little beat up, so I'm going the Titans 2.5.
How about you, Stick?
Yeah, the Colts are just a disappointing team. I thought they were so much better.
Form.
Huh?
They're rounding into form.
They better be because they got smoked by Jacksonville last year to keep them out of the playoffs, and then this year to start off the season. I had a lot of faith in the Colts, but I lost a lot of faith in them, so I'm going to go with the Titans in this one.
I'm a Matty Ice fan. I think he's rounding into form. You got Jonathan Taylor back today. Tennessee's home. It's tough to sweep, man. Earlier in the week, I took the Titans, but the more I talk about this, I'm talking myself into the Colts here. I think I'm going to take the Colts and switch my mind because on Friday, I took the Titans, but I'm going to take the Colts today to give the upset. Let's go to Browns and the Ravens. This is actually the Browns and the Browns. The old Browns versus the new Browns. The Ravens are home here, laying 6.5. I'll go to you first, Stick. Ravens and Browns.
Ravens by 14.
Yeah?
Yeah, the Browns are not good. I
Well,
mean,
they
they can
haven't
run the
played
ball.
good.
They can keep the ball out of Lamar Jackson's. But I'm a big Ravens fan. I got the Ravens.
Booner?
I'm opposite. I'm going Browns. I think they just keep it close. That most of their games have. I mean, they might have struggled a few games, but they started the year off really well. They can run the ball really, really good. I like the Browns in this matchup.
Ravens a down running game again. No J.K. Dobbins. They go with, is it Kenyon Drake?
Kenyon Drake. I think Gus Edwards is back as well today, off injury. But
from Rutgers. I'll take the Browns and the points as well. The Giants at 5-1 at the Jags, who've lost their last two, but supposedly they were the favorite to win the AFC South. They were the sexy pick. Jags are a 3-point favorite, Boone.
I like the Giants here. I love the Giants. I like taking the points in a lot of these games, the underdogs. But the Giants, they worried me a little bit. Like last week, they were out of the game right away, and then they just fight back. They just keep fighting. And the Jags they're starting to worry me a little bit. They fell down right the last few weeks. So I'll go Giants.
All right.
Hey, until they stop winning, you got to pick the Giants, man. What Daboll's doing over there, and I'm a big Danny Dimes fan. It drove Flannel Sam nuts. Listen, he wins. He's a decent quarterback, right? He's a serviceable quarterback. He's mobile. He's better than people think. So, yeah, Giants.
I'll go with the G, man. I can't pick against my guys. How about the Jets at the Broncos? We talked a little bit about this. No Russell Wilson. Broncos favored by 1 at home. I bet you that spread has moved a little bit.
It's moved. The Jets are now favored by 2.5.
Whoa! That's a huge move.
It's switched.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going the Broncos, though. I think the defense
Home dog.
Yep, I think the defense is way too good. And like I mentioned it earlier, that team brings other teams down to their level. The Jets will play down to their level with that defense, and you'll see it today. The Broncos probably, even without Russell Wilson, they might win this game. They might have an upgrade at quarterback. Who knows? we don't know.
They might.
Give me Dearborn's own Robert Saleh for the win, man. This guy is doing everything we hoped Dan Campbell was going to do. We would talk about culture reset. Braylon flew out there and went to a game, and he was like, it's different. It's different with this guy. What he's got them believing. He's got the tools. The Wilson boys are out there. You got to go with the Jets.
I'll go J. E. T. S. Jets. Big day for Zach Wilson today against that defense. I think he's got to throw the ball 35 times today for them to win. Breece Hall playing great football. A second-round pick. Chiefs at the 49ers. Here it is. It is the debut of Christian McCaffrey. 49ers at home getting points. 2.5. Stick, you want to lead off?
Yeah, I'll lead off. I don't know about the 2.5. Really don't know who's going to win this game, but I know I'm taking the over. That's the one thing that is rest assured in this game. Take the over. Chiefs, 49ers. I do love the 49ers, but it's tough to go against the Chiefs, man. Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
So Chiefs by a field goal. Right?
Chiefs by a field goal.
2.5 to you, Boone.
I like the 49ers. I'll take the 49ers, 2.5. Give me the points. If they're at home, underdogs at home. I love taking dogs at home. Chiefs coming off a loss. I think they might have a back-to-back loss here.
They're not losing 2 in a row.
Yeah, I think they might catch 2 here.
Once I win that Packer game, I will if all that money onto the Chiefs. Chiefs will win this game somehow, some way, and cover that 2.5. The Texans and the Raiders. Why do I have this game on there? Raiders are in the toilet. Texans are the Texans. Raiders are giving 7. I'll lead off. The Raiders are going to dominate the Texans today.
Yeah.
The Raiders are my pick to still make the playoffs. I believe in this team. They got too much talent. If Josh McDaniels just gets the hell out of the way, they will win this game. I love Green Bay, and I like the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Give me the Raiders.
I'm with you. This team's too talented to have the record that they have. You saw him before their bye week. Josh Jacobs really starting to become that predominant back that they needed him to be, which is interesting. He's in his 4th year. They didn't re-up him on his 5th year, so he's playing in a contract year. You don't know where he's going to be next year.
Playing great.
He is running exceptionally hard.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs is going to have about 3 touchdowns today.
Now, Booner, I think you think a little different.
I'm against you guys again here on this one. If you guys haven't noticed, I like to take some dogs.
You do.
And I love the Texans in this spot because both of these teams, if you see their whole season so far,
they both play close games.
Play extremely close games. Even if it's a bad team, a good team, they're in the game. It's going to be a game down to the wire.
See, that's why he's so smart.
I think the Raiders win it. And I'll tell you what, Matt, I had a futures bet for them to win the division, Super Bowl, and their overs to start the year. I cashed out of all of them.
You did.
They gave me an opportunity after week 2 to cash out for about half the price.
Wow.
And I got out as quick as I could.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. I still think they can make a run, though.
Yeah, they have a good football team. But this Texans team, they're young. They're just starting to get things rolling with these young guys like Nico Collins, Damian Pierce, Mills.
That Pierce is a hell of a running back.
They're good, yeah. So they're a young team that's looking
Don't make me take my bet off, please.
If you want to switch, come on this side.
I'm sticking with the silver and black.
Come on, just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Win for Allie. The last one today, the Steelers and the Dolphins tonight in Miami. The Dolphins giving 7 to the Steelers, who won last week. They win it 20-18 last week against the Bucs in Tampa. No, that was in Pittsburgh. This one's in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa is back, or is he, Boone?
I believe he is back. From what I've heard, he's playing.
He's back, but how long is he in for?
Who knows? That's why I'm on the Steelers because of that. I don't trust the Tua situation at all. Even if he's fully back, I think it's a close game. He's been gone for a few weeks. They've lost 2 straight. I trust the Steelers. That Kenny Pickett's back today. He was injured last week. He didn't play.
That's another one with a concussion.
Yeah, so he's back. I just like the Steelers in this spot.
Who do you like in the concussion bowl?
Oh, God. Oh, man, that's brutal. The Dolphins. Dolphins are the better team. Tyreek Hill. There's nobody on the Steelers that can mess with Tyreek Hill. I got the Dolphins in this game.
Tyreek's good, but you got Minka Fitzpatrick in the backfield. So. Okay. We'll see. I'm taking the Steelers.
Still got Jalen Waddle.
I'm still taking the Steelers.
Still got Gesicki.
Steelers keep this one close. Gesicki, by the way, they're going to trade him. Well, they don't like the gritty that he does? Is that the reason they're trading him?
Nobody likes it. I don't even know if you could call that the gritty.
I swear didn't they just re-sign him for an extension?
Yeah, they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know what's going on there, but I'll take the Steelers at Miami tonight on Sunday Night Football just to keep it close. Because usually Sunday Night Football is pretty close.
Oh, Sunday night.
Can't stand that song.
You can't.
I hate it.
Oh, I think it's just because what it stands for. It's
a turnoff for me. You know why? I was an ESPN Sunday Night Football fan, and when NBC took it over, it just ruined my appetite for Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, see, when Rob Sims was sitting in Booner's chair a couple of weeks ago, me and him shared a common bond. Sunday Night Football is like the apex of the week. Yeah, everything's done on the day. Your team's already played with the Lions. You can just sit there, enjoy the night, and watch football.
Our fantasy team, we go to B-Dubs or Buffalo Wild Wings every Sunday night. It's like a...
Do you really?
Yeah, just go watch...
After the show, I'll probably head to B-Dubs and
watch some games. Yeah, we do that every Sunday Night Football. The song plays, and it's ready to go.
Sunday night. No primetime games for the Lions, though. We know that.
Not yet. They get flexed, though.
They're not going to get flexed this year. My goodness.
In the first 4 weeks, I thought, hey, this team's going to get flexed. This team's going to get flexed this year. Ain't going to happen.
No.
Devontae Adams is active today, by the way.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Despite pushing a photographer, it says right now.
He might have to sit out because of that civil suit against him.
Yeah.
He might have to sit a game out. And even though
we teach this to kindergartners. You don't put your hands on people.
But the NFL didn't even fine him. They didn't fine him.
I know. Believe me. I understand the player's field is the player's field. Nobody else should be on it walking in front of them. That's their sanctuary. I agree with that. But we're also grown-ass men here. If somebody's walking in front of you, you don't have a right to push them anywhere at any time, especially a little tiny Jared from Subway-looking photographer that you just shoved to the ground. So he's playing today, and I don't think he should be suspended either. He's going to have to pay that man his money because that's what you do. You assault somebody, you pay him money.
He's not getting anything.
No, just pay him. You don't. Yeah. No. Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Maz.
He's not hurt. He's not hurt.
It doesn't matter. This is 2022. It doesn't matter if he's hurt. It's on video.
I hope the judge laughs at the guy and says, "Get the hell out of here."
He might have gotten a stiff neck for that to get some money.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't
be
surprised.
He's going to claim all his camera equipment got broke.
Well, they'll pay for that then.
He's getting money. He's getting money. I would let Devontae Adams push me if I could get like $500K.
Get the hell out of here.
Anytime,
I
anywhere.
talked to photographers this week at Little Caesars Arena, and I asked them about that.
Yeah.
And they all said that guy was in the wrong.
Okay. You can still be in the wrong. That doesn't give anybody the right to put their hands on you. I can
How about the fan that
this.
ran on the field a couple of weeks ago and got tackled?
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
He's suing.
That's wrong.
But they threw a case out.
Yeah, they should throw that case out. Fans, don't go on the field. Just don't do it.
You don't belong there.
You don't. Photographers, you do have the field pass. You're allowed there. All right, enough about around the NFL. Let's get back focused on the Detroit Lions. We are going to give our predictions and what we expect to happen in today's game. Coming up next, right here on the WoodwardSports.com Lions Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss Insurance. We'll be right back.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row. This time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got one toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Maddie Miller here with your Detroit Lions pregame report. DeAndre Swift is officially out for the Lions for today's game. It was a game he was pushing to play in, but seeing him at practice being a little hesitant and the fact he has yet to complete a full practice in quite a few weeks, it's best for him to not come back today. That being said, we will be seeing a lot of Jamal Williams and Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds did have quite a few great plays in the Week 5 loss to the New England Patriots. A name not on the inactives list was Ermanni Oruwariye. He has been fighting a battle to gain a spot on the field, so he's definitely someone you're going to want to look out for today as he has something to prove. A couple others hitting the field. John Kaminsky is back after a wrist surgery earlier this season, and we will finally get our taste of Josh Paschal. So quite a few players to keep your eye out for today. That's all I have for you right now, but I'll keep you posted as more news comes in.
WoodwardSports.com Lions beat reporter Madeline Miller getting us her update for today's game. All right, Maz.
Here we go.
It's time for us to talk about what we expect, what we predict, and what is going to happen at kickoff, which is about 22 minutes away. Let's start with you, Maz. What are you expecting to see out of the Detroit Lions today? And if you're in the WoodwardSports.com chat right now, now's the time to drop your predictions. Let us know what you think the score is going to be, and let us know who you think is going to score and whatnot. Go ahead, Maz.
I think the Lions will empty the bag today. I think they will play their best game of the year, although I thought it was against Minnesota. It was their best game of the year, and it just didn't work out. They're at Dallas, tough place to play, under the big lights, playing against a star. Dak Prescott, first game back. You're coming off a 29-0 loss. You get the week off. I'm sure a couple of schemes are going to change. You're going to see some different players out there, different packages. You got 2 players back that you haven't seen in a long time. Jerry Jacobs was playing really good last year until I think he blew out his Achilles.
Yep.
And then you got Josh Paschal, your second-round pick out of Kentucky, defensive end. You get him, first game back. He hasn't played since November. Sports hernia. I think he had a knee prior to that. You get to see these players. Maybe Aiden Hutchinson, this is his coming out party. Had a great game against Washington until he got hurt. Hasn't been the same since. I believe that the Detroit Lions will, like I said, play their best game. Will they win? I'm not sure. Will they play really well today and be in the game? They better. Because if they don't, you got Miami at home, and then you're going to Green Bay. How are you going to win those games? Play hard today, maybe eke out a win. I want to see the same game I saw against the Rams last year. Come out and give us everything. I don't care if you fake it. I don't care what the hell you do. Don't go for it on 4th and 9. Keep the 4th down tries from 5 yards and in, depending on where you are on the field. I'll give it to you. Dallas Cowboys 31, Detroit Lions 27. They cover.
All right. So it's going to be a close game.
They give Dak Prescott some headaches. I think they pick him off. They knock him around. Maybe get a fumble. Defense got to step up a little. 31 points. I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take it.
Well, I'm looking at the WoodwardSports.com chat right now. Thank you guys for all this. So, some of these are hilarious. Prediction number 2. The Lions will go for it on a 2nd down. Let's see. 48-12 Cowboys. Cornelius says that. Chief says 50-plus points for the Dallas Cowboys. It's probable. It's probable.
Hey, Braylon Edwards texted me. They're going to win by 30 today, the Cowboys. I hope he's wrong.
Yeah, so that means if the Lions put up 20, they're putting up 50. Let's see. 0-7 on 4th down, Cornelius says, for the Lions. Detroit Lions 38. Cowboys 35. Wavy Bryce says that. Zeke with 100-plus yards. Chief says that. Lions lose by 6 points. Lions Mania says that. Just thank you guys for putting those in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Booner?
Just to remind everyone, the last time the Lions won, 2011 in Dallas, 34-30 was the final. 34-30.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Maz here on the same situation. It's a tough situation to be in because we're coming off such a bad loss versus the Patriots, but coming off a bye, I think they're able to get some rest, move some things around, figure out something, to compete, right? I think we're forgetting a lot, though, about how well we were competing at the start, like throughout the Vikings game, even though we lost. The Commanders game, how we competed with this Eagles football team, who is the best team in football right now. I think the Lions still are going to come out and compete today. I think just the decisions Dan Campbell has made has taken everyone off the Lions can't compete. Like they think that when realistically, outside of the Patriots game, we have been competitive in games. Dan Campbell's just made bad decisions that have taken us completely out of those games. I think it's a similar thing today. We're going up against a good defense just like we did with Philly. I think they still put up points. I'm going with a 27-24 Dallas Cowboys win. I think at the end of the game, though, I think we're going to have an opportunity. I think what it's going to come down to, and we've seen it through 2 or 3 times this year, I think it's going to come down to the defense needs to get a 3rd down stop to get the ball back to go give Jared Goff the ball to go get an opportunity to tie the game or win the game. And I don't think we get that done. I think the 3rd down, they get 3rd down and they just kneel the ball and it's over. So it's happened 2 or 3 times versus us already. So.
Well, so that's your prediction, 27-24?
Yep.
Oh, man.
That means they're kicking a field goal.
Yeah. They will kick a field goal
Michael
today.
Badgley.
They will
make
get a field
kicks.
goal.
Jack Fox, 2 for 2 on completions on 4th down. That's one of my predictions.
Jack Fox is going to earn his $7 million.
There it is today.
Yes.
All in one day, Jack Fox is going to earn that $7 million. Going back to the WoodwardSports.com chat, I love this from Don Bird. Dan Campbell onside kicks the first kick of the game, and Dallas recovers on their own 40. I can see that happening.
That ain't going to happen.
Well, you said you want that Rams treatment, and that's what they did at halftime, right? They came out with that onside kick.
They'll have 12. They'll have 11 guys up.
You never know. Dan Campbell, pew pew, just firing off every play we got today. Man, when I look at this game,
you just said man.
I'm telling you, man. When I look at this game, man, it's an important game, man. Make sure you get your Dan Campbell impressions in, by the way. Woodward Sports. Tag us, Woodward Front Row on Instagram and Twitter. You could be sitting front row for the Green Bay game. I think it's also going to be a close game, but it's one of those, I get the feeling where if they get down early, it's just going to get out of control. There's no coming back for the Lions. If they get down by 10 early, they're going to lose by 30. If they keep it close early, we got a shot. We got a puncher's chance in this game. Micah Parsons, I'm really, really interested to watch him go. Bowl. Yeah, it is the Maz Bowl, honestly. I'm really interested to watch him and Penei Sewell go at it. I really am. I think that's
going to move around, but that's mainly his spot.
If he gets a sack on Penei Sewell, will you feel vindicated?
I don't want that.
I know you don't want it, but will you feel vindicated?
No, I feel vindicated already.
Okay.
I don't want to be right, but I am.
I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup to watch. If they can contain him, because just as the Patriots put it on tape of how to beat the Lions now know how to prevent someone from beating them too, hopefully, if you have a smart enough coaching staff. That tape can work both ways. All right, here's what they did to us. Here's how we're going to prevent that in the future. And hopefully they've come up with a game plan to neutralize your boy, Micah Parsons, on the other end.
You got DeMarcus Lawrence, too.
They do have a solid defense, but the thing I'm looking for is the Lions' defense to step up. We haven't seen it all season. It's their time. They've had 2 weeks to think about it. They've had pretty much the entire season of people telling them, hey, you're the worst. Now they have Dak Prescott saying, hey, you suck so bad, I'm coming back to play y'all just to get warmed up. Pride is on the line once again this week for the Detroit Lions. I thought pride was on the line against the Patriots, and they botched that.
Against their old coach.
This is a redemption game. And we're going to find out if Dan Campbell has lost his team in this game right here. Because if you have a whole bye week to prepare for this, and they come out flat, or they don't come out with the energy that they should be coming out with, you know that the locker room has given up on Dan Campbell.
Ooh.
And that
would suck.
But that's my biggest fear out of today's game.
Well, we play our spot, our Dan Campbell impersonation spot, and you see him on Hard Knocks. Man, I love you guys. Trust me. All I think about is you guys. All I think about is you guys. That's it. It would break my heart to see him fail. It would.
And that's part of it, because what else does a guy have to do, right? Like, Dan Campbell has done all the right things except win. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
If this Lions team, or this offense, let me say, gives you another 30 points today, but that defense gives up 40 and we lose the game, do we start questioning AG, though, and say, hey, what's going on here with this situation? Because we can't keep putting 30 points up in the NFL. That's just not a thing. The best teams in football every year put 30 points up, if that. If they do that again today for the fourth time this season, or third time, whatever it is, then it's like at the end of the week, we maybe should, okay, Dan Campbell, let's talk about AG first.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to that.
And I was like, that's where I was 2 weeks ago, right? When it's like, all right, we got offense figured out. 50% of the team is on its way. But then they get shut out. And it's like, okay, well, now maybe we're not even at 50%. So maybe 10% of this team is on its way. So that's what scared, I think, a lot of Lions fans last time out. 0 points out of the number one offense in the league. How do they bounce back? And if they put up 30 today and lose 40-30, we can go back to feeling at least half this thing is built. Right?
Yeah, I would.
You'd feel at least like, hey, the team sucks, but at least we're halfway there.
But here's the problem. They're not going to score 30 because they don't have DeAndre Swift in the lineup. He's the straw that stirs the drink. That's your main problem. Without DeAndre Swift, they're an average or below average. You have no running game. You can't win in the NFL, especially against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They got to run the ball. And if they can't, it's curtains, man. Just pick out your color.
Yeah. All right, well, I got the Lions competing in this game. You know what? Just to go against you guys, I'm going to take the Lions to win.
Good.
24-21.
Let's go.
24-21. Let's go. Let's go, Lions.
I like it. Ed Werder said, hey, Dak is pointing to this game for his comeback. There you go. You're sticking it to Dak.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for being a part of the WoodwardSports.com Lions pregame show. I want to address this one more time because Harley Brown, this is he says, well, knocking Dan Campbell by mocking him doesn't help the player's confidence. The contest we're running is not to mock Dan Campbell.
It's to
impersonate him. And we came up with it at the beginning of the season when we were all hyped to have Dan Campbell. So
hell, we got a kneecap T-shirt. We got the Wheaties box with him on it.
Yeah, we love Dan Campbell.
We love Dan Campbell. We want him to succeed.
Yeah, go to WoodwardSports.com, click on shop. We got a ton of Dan Campbell. We want Dan Campbell to win. And when we thought of this contest, I promise you, we were not thinking they would be 1-5.
They were impersonating him in Hard Knocks when everyone was loving it. So
yeah,
I mean,
of course,
it's something fun.
Don't be a prisoner of the moment.
It's in love. It's in love.
It's in love. We love Dan Campbell. We love the Lions.
Hell, they make fun of me every day I live here.
Yeah, and we love Maz.
I think they do.
Ish. Well, thank you guys. Go Lions. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy it. Anson and I will be on. Yeah, I'll be on at the 2-minute warning. We go live right here on WoodwardSports.com at the 2-minute warning. For every Lions game, Anson and I will be in the studio today. So hopefully in the 2-minute warning, we get to break down them kicking a game-winning field goal and walking off Jerry World with a victory. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Thank you for being a part of WoodwardSports.com.